Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, you guys can see in the title, we're going to be doing a full face of makeup featuring and showing some of my favorite products from Black-owned brands. Right now is the time where we need to show a little extra love and a little support to help to honestly bring a little more awareness, inclusivity, and diversity to the beauty community and the world as a whole. I don't know who started this tag, but the first video I saw with it was from actually a friend of mine. Her name is Glam with Suzanne. I will link her video down below. But she did this a few days ago, and I absolutely loved the message behind that video. So I wanted to show you guys some of my favorites. It is June, which means it is Pride Month. And as a gay male myself, I can acknowledge that the Pride movement and the gay rights movement was started by Black trans women. The Pride fight and the LGBTQ fight and the Black Lives Matter fight are the same fight. We just have to make sure that we are all fighting for each other, and right now it is the Black community that needs our help more than ever. So instead of posting my typical affiliate links down in the description box, you are going to see links to donate and some resources on education to help you better educate yourself and help to take a stand on what is going to be one of, if not the most important stance we take during our lifetime. So if you want to see some of my favorite products featuring Black-owned beauty brands, make sure to keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out my description box so you can get some resources where you can donate if you don't have money to donate at this time, some resources for petitions you can sign, and other calls to action to make sure that we are taking whatever opportunity we can to make our voices heard. Thank you guys, and let's jump right into the video. Okay, so first things first, I did already prime my skin off camera with my skincare. And for complexion, I'm going to be jumping into the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation and Concealer. I wear both in the shade 200. I haven't filmed my intro yet, so I don't know if I'm going to say it in my intro. But I am primarily featuring products that I already know and love. This is not a review or first impressions. I just wanted to take this opportunity to spotlight some of my favorite products that I already know and love. I will be putting that looks very light. I will be putting together a video where I am doing similarly to this, featuring and showcasing Black-owned brands, but where I'm using that more as an opportunity to test products that I don't already know. And I have been watching a lot of people who are doing videos like this, where they are demoing and showing products, and I've been looking into ones I might not have heard of or just have not gotten a hand on yet, and trying those at some point as well. This is going to look a little pale, because it does oxidize a little bit, so don't worry. It is going to end up matching me. It's just going to take a little bit for it to warm up to my shade. Okay, and then jumping into the concealer. The thing I love most about this foundation and concealer combo is the numbers are the same. So once you find out what your shade is in the foundation or in the concealer, you can grab the appropriate shade in the other formula, because they've designed the concealer to be a little bit lighter, so it's already going to brighten for you. Whereas with most concealers, you have to guess your color or start from scratch. This system is designed that if you are shade 350 in the foundation, shade 350 in the concealer will be the perfect brightening match. See how this is giving me that brightness? Next, for setting powder, and I know it looks a little bright, but don't worry, it'll all come together, I promise. I'm going to be grabbing my Beauty Bakery Flour Setting Powder, Better Not Bitter. This is one of the most finely milled setting powders on the market. It is so beautiful. I am in the shade, because I know they have a few. This is in the shade Translucent. I have had this for a while, so I know they expanded and now they have some color-specific options, like one that's a little more rosy and one that's a little bit deeper, more of a medium tone. So I am going to be looking into picking up one of those, because I do want to try one of the tinted powders. But for today, I'll be going in with the translucent. While I give that a couple minutes to warm up, because again, it's still looking a little fair, but don't worry, like I said, the Fenty formula does oxidize, so it is going to lighten as it sits on top of my skin. So I'm going to go throw on my brows, prime my eyes with the same concealer, and hopefully it'll have warmed up by then. I do not have any black-owned brow products. I've tried a few, and I haven't found anything that I love as much as my Benefit or my Milk. So I'm going to be using those today, but if you have any recommendations for black-owned brow products, I would love to test them out. Drop a comment down below so that I can find something new. Anyway, I'm going to go prep the eyes and do all that stuff, and I'll be right back. Alright, eyes are primed and brows are done. It's still looking a little fair because I totally forgot that for once in my life I actually have a tan. Because if you guys saw a video I posted recently about a sunburn, so I'm just going to have to load up on the bronzer, which is Into Sun, also from Fenty Beauty. I'm sorry, this is Shady Biz from Fenty Beauty. It's a little bit darker and a little bit more cool toned, so it fits me a bit. I'm going to be loading up on this because my foundation is a little light for me today because sun. But what I love about this bronzer specifically is because it has such a cool neutral tone, I can really load this up and it doesn't make me look like I put on too much bronzer. It really just helps to shape the face. And then when I take a blush, it'll help to kind of bring it all together. Like, look at how this side of the face looks so much better already. The magic of a good bronzer. Alright, the next brand we're going to talk about is going to be Juvia's Place. Now, this is the Deuce Palette from Juvia's Place. I did originally grab this because I was going to do an eye look, and then I remembered that one of my favorite palettes of all time, which is the Queen of Hearts palette from Colored Rain, is also a black-owned brand. So I did want to show some love to this palette as well. So I'm going to be using this shade up here for blush, and I'm going to be mixing those two for highlight, so I can show love to a palette I like. So I'm going to actually mix a little bit of Crepe down here, which is a little dark, and Creme, which is a little bit light. Mix the two of those together, and add a little bit of that rosy pink to the cheeks. And then with my bronzer brush, just lightly blending around that. I want to make sure that it's warm, but it does get very pink if I don't add a little bit more of that blending. And then wherever my highlight brush is, that would be helpful. There we go. For highlight, I'm actually going to take a light fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip a little bit into Puff, a little bit into Tarte, and then we're going to just add some glow to the cheek. And you guys know me, I love to glow, so I'm going to take a little bit of Sandcastle from the Sandcastle Mint Mojito Duo, also from Fenty, just to add a little bit of a brow bone highlight and a little bit more glow to the top of the cheeks. Okay, now jumping into the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette, which is one of my all-time favorite palettes. This has been in my collection for such a long time. Like, if you go back to, like, 3 studios ago, maybe 250 videos ago, like, that's how long I've been talking about this palette. So I'm going to start by jumping into the shade Royal Prerogative right here. And I'm going to grab that on a packer brush. And I'm going to start. It would probably help if I had a mirror in my hand. I'm going to start by just adding this color straight to the outer V of the eye for some definition. Taking some of that, ooh, we are way too bright. What's happening? Okay, I have no idea what just happened, but I think we're okay now. It got really bright really quickly. Alright, that looks better. Taking that same color on the point of the brush, I'm just going to build it up a little higher in the outermost portion of the eye, really just shaping that crease. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see this a little better. Okay, so I'm leaning back and looking up and just gently tracing this When I go in with my transition shade, I'll blend it up so that my hooded eyes, you can still see the shadow. But right now, I'm just really taking that same color and just building up the intensity on the outer portion of the eye so I can get a really pretty cat eye shape. Once that's laid down on a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to go into the shade Princess up here, which is a little bit more of a mauve-y tone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean back and I'm going to start on the inner portion of the eye and really just blend up, diffusing that color from before so that I get a nice soft blend. And so when I look forward, you can still see that color around the frame of my eye. Now dipping into Royal Prerogative, that first shade, I'm just going to blend that into that transition shade just so that I can bring that definition a little bit higher. Alright, I'm going to do that on this eye and I'll be right back. Okay, now that the basic shape is down, why does this keep going blurry? You need to relax. Then jumping into Duchess down here on that same flat brush. I'm going to pick up a decent amount of this and I'm really just going to concentrate that on the very outer corner of my eye. I'm going in with very light pressure because I really just want to build this definition here, but I don't want it to get super blended because then it's going to get muddy. I really want to keep that shape. Switching into that first brush, I'm just going to blend that out. And for the lid, I'm feeling something a little more cool toned, so I'm going to grab the shade Royal Highness up here, which is like a cool mauve-y purple. It is honestly so pretty. I'm going to load up my brush, wet it a little bit, and pull that across the lid. Okay, jumping into a pencil brush, I'm going to start with the same order. So I'm going to start with Royal Prerogative, then go into Duchess, then blend the whole thing out with Princess. So starting with Royal Prerogative, just going to, and I did have to zoom you out, otherwise I won't be in focus, but connect the outer portion of my lower lash with the lower lash line and the upper lid, like so. Then going in with a flat brush and Duchess, which was the darkest shade, I'm going to go very close to my eye and use that shadow almost as if it were a liner, just to get that really dark chocolate brown to shape the eye a bit. Then going into the fluffy brush that I used on the upper lid and going into Princess, the mauve. Just going to start at the outer corner and just blend it all together. Jumping back into that Fenty highlighter, I'm actually going to take a little bit of the same shade I used on the cheeks, which is Mint Mojito, and I'm going to pop that onto the inner corner. And then just to make it pop, I'm going to take a tiny bit of Mint Mojito, the blue shade, and if you layer that over right in the center, it actually doesn't look blue, it just looks super frosty. And I love the way that that works on the inner corner. Alright, I'm going to grab the bronzer again because I don't know if it'll stay in there because I'm not sure if the camera caught it while I was editing, but my lighting for some reason changed and I feel like I'm still getting a little washed out. So I'm going to take a tiny bit more bronzer just to re-intensify, since I feel like I look super pale, and I'll have to play around with my lighting after I finish filming. Alright, next item we're going to talk about is mascara, and that is not the mascara I wanted to try. There it is. So this is from Black Up Paris. It is the Ultra Volume Mascara. This brand is actually one of the few that is super dedicated to darker complexions. Like, they have a few things that are lighter, but for the most part, all of their stuff is made with tan, deep, deep dark, and rich undertones in mind. And this mascara has a really cool wand. I typically like a shorter and less fluffy wand. However, this one does get nice and close to the lash line. So I've actually really enjoyed this one. Look at that, one coat, and it's already giving me definition. So because I do not have any black-owned lash brands, I will be skipping lashes today, but I'm really happy with how the mascara is doing on its own. And we're going to jump into lip, which is going to be the last product of the day. You guys will notice that there's been a very significant black-owned brand missing, and that is the mother herself. So we're going to be using the Mcgrath Labs. This is the lipstick in the shade 1995, and it is a beautiful matte nude. So I'm going to throw that on. Absolutely love this tone. And just because I want the lip to pop a little bit more, I'm going to take a little bit of the Fussy Gloss from Fenty and layer that right over the top. And that is the finished look. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm actually really excited that I got to take you guys through some of my favorite products that honestly, I reach for these pretty frequently. I mean, this has been neglected, I'm not gonna lie, but she's gonna come out a lot more now, I promise. But honestly, it was a lot of fun to play with some of my favorite products that all happen to be from major black-owned brands. Let me know down below some of your favorites so that I can check them out. Especially, you guys saw I didn't have brow. I actually didn't even have a setting spray. So I would love for some other options of things I should be looking to try out. I've already got like a bunch of Uma Beauty products in my cart on Ulta, so I am looking to pick up some of those as well. But leave me a comment down below with some of your favorite black-owned brands so I can give them some love, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!